0.77 in terms of that. And once you have the class, once you have the upper limit and the lower limit of each class, now all we have to do is we go in and we tally your data. So how many of my people in here, my data, how many of this data do I have is between the age of 27 to 33, which is, again, we go in and basically go in, we say, well, where is my data between 27, which is, do you agree? I have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4, 5, 6. I got 7. Where's the other one? Ah, there's 7. Uh, 27 to 33. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's the 27th.
5, 6. Oh, thank you. 7. So again, basically you go in and you just tally up this thing here, which is everybody see that we have 7 data in the group of 27 to 33. So basically you go there, whatever data between 34 to 40, you just go in and you tally them up, which is, again, you go in, you tally them, which is there are 14 of them, which is, again, cross them out. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, right? This is 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth, which is, again, you just go in whatever number between this 2 number or this 2 number, and you tally them up, which is you go and you tally them up, which is, again, looking at this thing here, I go ahead and I tally them all up, which is, again, basically all you do is you tally this thing. You go in and you tally this thing up, which is, again, this is all we have. And one thing to check your data is you add your frequency up. You add your frequency up. Your frequency have to be equal to the total number of data you have, which is, in this case, my total number of data I have, I think it's like 55. I think it's 55 data. If you add all of this frequency up, it should be equal to 55. Again, this is 40 already. This is 40 plus 10, that's 50, 55. So again, that's what your frequency distribution table look like, or this is your frequency distribution table with with a class. Okay. So again, sometimes you have a different frequency distribution table where they have a different computer. Then you just you have I don't know what computer I have right now. Surface, HP, Apple. If they have category, you just go count how many Apple computer you have, how many Surface you have, how many HP you have in terms of those. But again, same thing goes, just that instead of the number is a category, and you still go and tally your data, right? So that's your frequency distribution table, which is data, and you give this thing here, and then they can ask you the follow-up question, right? How many people signed the Declaration of Independence between the age of 41 to 54, right? So again, you say, well, 41 to 54, we have 26 of them, right? 26 of them is between the age group of 41 all the way to 54, right? So again, that's your follow-up question. Alex will ask you those questions. For this one here, my purpose is, show you how to construct your frequency distribution table. And again, you all know how to tally your data up. Okay? So again, question with this thing here, how to come up with your class width. That's the hardest one, is the class width. And once you have the lower and upper limit, all you need to do after that is to tally up your data. Okay? Now, once you have your frequency distribution table, well, let's practice one more frequency distribution table. Let's practice one more frequency distribution table. This is what I have is, again, the data below, or the result from my Math 203 for 2018 test 1, right? The result of test 1. Using the data to construct. This is basically your question. Most of this thing will be on your final exam, which is construct a frequency distribution table, construct a histogram, construct a polygon, and construct the stem and leaf plot. So basically today, that's why I say today, mostly this is what we do is basically how to construct, how to organize your data, and how to present your data, right? So again, frequency distribution table, and again, I ask you guys to use this, which is use the class width of 10 as a 10-point scale, right? So again, from right, using this the class width of 10, which is the 10-point scale, which is again your 10-point scale, which your 10-point scale, which is again from 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to pretty much each time you jump, you add 10, right? So this is my class, which is again from 20 to 29, 30, 39, 40, 49, so on and so forth. So again, looking at this thing here, we don't need, again, because I state the class width, so you don't have to find the class width, right? I didn't ask you how many class also, so you won't able to divide, right? So looking at this thing here, basically you go in there and you just tally this thing up, which is again, I have one student is in the between the 20 to 29 grade. I have one student between the 30 to 39. I have 3 students between the 40 and so on and so forth. And again, I have 25 students. I want to check my answer. I can see that this is 10, this is 10, that's 20, and that will give me 25, right? So this is my 25 data. That's your frequency distribution table, which is again, to be in short, all you do is you tally up your raw data. Like I said, if you give this raw data to your boss, they don't know what this raw data is. But if you give them this frequency distribution table, they can see, okay, you group them up like this. Right? Question.
So when you are about to start the table, it's like, you know how it starts from 21, right? So you're going to actually start from 20.
Just because I asked for the 10-point scale right here, just because I asked for the 10-point scale, this is what we do is we start with the 20. Because of the grading scale is from 20 to 30, so on and so forth. So that's why we start from the 20. Start with 21. If you go back to the previous problem, you start with 21, you go to 31, go to you go to by 10 last time based on the previous problem. Just because this one here, I give you a different information, that's why we start with the 20. Because I want the 10-point grading scale, and the 10-point grading scale is basically go from 90 to 100 is an A, and so on so forth like that. So again, that's why I start with the 20 to make it even number. Okay. Again, the information, to use the difference between this problem versus the previous one is they ask you to have to find the class width. They ask you to find the class width. So if you find the class width, you have to use in this rule. The next problem, I tell you what the class width is, and I tell you how I want the class to be, and that's why it's in the sense of 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 and so on like that. So that's the difference between the two information here. Okay. So again, given this thing here, basically, like I mentioned, this is what we have, which is your frequency distribution table. So one thing about your histogram is very easy in terms that all you have to do is this, which is you level your lower limit. Everybody see my lower limit is 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 to 90. And again, if I had to add another one, I would stop would have a 100 in terms of that. Okay. You start with your lowest data. It's just that because I give you